The most famous landmark in this country is world-renowned, yet no one knows how it got there or why. Welcome to Easter Island, home to over 800 massive stone statues that are scattered all over the island. The largest of these statues is over 9 meters tall and weighs around 13 tons. And while many of them can be found lying around the island, some of them were actually buried underground with their full bodies. So how did they get here and what was their purpose? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. These statues are called Moai, and they were built by Polynesians centuries ago. But how old are we talking about here? Well, the first European to make contact with the island was the Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen in 1722. And he reported that the natives told him that the statues were made by their ancestors who got help from supernatural beings. However, he didn't believe this, and instead assumed that they were the work of an unknown civilization. He named the island after the day he arrived, which was Easter Sunday, and then sailed away. Over the next few decades, more explorers arrived, including James Cook, who actually thought the statues were just the work of monkeys. It wasn't until 1934, when the first scientific expedition to the island uncovered a ceremonial village called Orongo. This place had been abandoned long before the first Europeans arrived, but it seemed to have been used for rituals related to the Moai. They also discovered red sandstone structures called ahu, which the islanders told them were used for religious ceremonies. But the real mystery is how the Moai got there. These statues were carved using only primitive tools from basalt, which is one of the hardest types of volcanic rock. Each one is a masterpiece of engineering, considering that the average person would find it difficult to move them today. Yet somehow the Polynesians managed to create 800 of them, and that's not even counting the hundreds of other figures that were carved into the sides of cliffs. Some people believe that the Moai represent ancestral spirits, and that they were made during a time when the population believed that their dead could walk the earth again. This would explain why some of them were buried underground with their full bodies, as if they were mummies. But others say that they may have been built to worship an alien god. This is because they seem to be disproportionately male, with many of them having large noses and almond eyes, features that are often used to depict aliens in movies. Some researchers have even suggested that the long noses are actually elongated skulls, which would prove that the islanders practiced cranial deformation, a process where the shape of a baby's head is altered while they're still young. Of course, none of these theories are very satisfactory, but that hasn't stopped people from coming up with others. Some say that the Moai are UFOs in disguise, while others say that they were built to warn future generations about the dangers of climate change. There's even one theory that says the island sank in the ocean at some point, causing the statues to be buried underground. But the main question still remains, how did they get there? We know that the Polynesians were excellent navigators and had mastered the art of sailing across the Pacific Ocean. But how did they transport these massive statues from the quarry to their final destination? Well, one theory is that they used a giant crane made out of wood. Another theory is that they rolled them along the ground using logs. But whatever method they used, it's still a mystery. And that's why these statues are considered to be one of the most unexplained wonders in the world. If you want to see them for yourself, then you should definitely visit Easter Island. But don't forget to subscribe to Mystery Atlas AU for more unexplained wonders. Now it's time to make a decision. Do you think aliens helped build these statues? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to share it with a friend who loves ancient mysteries. Thanks for watching. See you next time.